Hi, welcome to Bookwood. It's cold. Let's go inside. Come in. I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. Let's start our first vlog in which I'll be reading for Realmathon by Covers with Cassidy. I started this vlog only on Wednesday because it was only today that the books I have picked out especially for this readathon arrived at my library. And that's where we are. There behind me is our library. It is located in such a beautiful place that it makes you want to go sit down right here and spend the afternoon reading in the nice spring sun. But before I start to read, I want to show you the 3 books that I have picked out and that came in today. So the first one is Les larmes de Kernunnos by Alain T Puysségur. This is the second book in the Manoir de Castlecats, and I'm looking forward to read this one. The first one was quite nice, and this will be a buddy read with one of my sons, which makes me quite happy. In this one we will be following, I hope, still the 4 same cats, and we'll see how the magical training is going. The next one is La maison aux pattes de poulet by GennaRose, Nethercott. I am pretty sure it has an English title, so let's have a look. So Thislefoot, it is called in English. I was intrigued. I was hoping that the house would be the main character in this story, and we do have plants on the cover, which would be perfect. Oh, I forgot, but in this one the main characters are cats. All characters are, and we do have some plants on the cover right here. The last one that came in is Au revoir les chats by Hiro Arikawa. So let's see if I can find an English title for this one. Unfortunately not. I'll have to look that up and put that somewhere. And in this we will have several short stories following at least Hashi and Nana from the Traveling Chronicles, and some other cats that they meet along the way. I hope that this will be as an emotional read as was the first book. Welcome back. I bet you are wondering what book I picked up first from our library haul yesterday. That will have to wait, since first we will have to care for the animals that we have in our house. We are a rescue shelter for reptiles, and so we have a lot of animals going around. Whilst doing that, I will be listening to the audiobook I started for Realmathon. That is Le Secret des Dragons by Jupiter Pheaton. This is the last and seventh book in the Kira Storm Rider series, and I am very impatient to find out how the whole story ends. So we follow Kira that goes to a magical academy where she wants to become a dragon rider. This is very unlikely since dragons have been away for hundreds of years, and also never a woman or a Shuna, which is the ethnicity she's from, have been dragon riders. Her dream obviously comes true as soon as the first book, and she will be thrown into a series of events that lead us up to today, where the question rises if they can save the dragons, if they can free them from the country that is holding them back, but also if she can restore the magic of the land, because the lack of this makes that all abundance is going away, and so her people and the whole continent are starting to get hungry. Unfortunately, her country is under attack by two different aggressors at two different sites, and we have come to a point where all these issues need to be addressed at once. So I hope that I can give you good news about these events once I finish this book. For now, let's just go to work and take care of all these animals. So, I have finished Kira Storm Rider, Le Secret des Dragons. This was the seventh book in a series, and it's also the last one. So it is difficult to talk more extensively about it. But like I said in a little summary I made before, we are following Kira, who did become a dragon rider, even being a woman and being of a minority, since this had never happened before. And in this last one, we are going to conclude all the events, all the war that has been going on. I must say that I was very disappointed with this last book. The whole series is young adult, and I feel that, but I think it is a very good series to listen to whilst doing a lot of chores, and especially in the weeks the kids are at home. Unfortunately, to me it is a little bit too young for being one of my favorite reads. In this book, the conclusion of it all is quite too easy in the events, is too unlikely, like to reclaim the throne of an ally country. They just go with like 5 dragon riders, 5 people up to this palace, and the person that has taken over the throne goes like, okay, I'll give you back your throne. It is not believable. So it was nice to listen to, it was good to have a conclusion of the story, but it was not fantastic. I did start another audiobook that I will not include in this vlog because it is not especially chosen for the Realmathon. You might say you didn't mention the Kira Stormrider book in the reading journal setup or the TPR video. Okay, that's fair, that's true, because I didn't think of going to have a look in audiobooks in what I would listen to, and also because the audiobooks are quite predetermined, since it's the place where I have the most series going on, and I pick a book of this series every month. But the Kira Stormrider did fit in very well. It had plants on the cover, it was an urban setting, and so it did give quite some points. So for those who are part of the Stag team, don't worry, it's not because I don't mention the book in here in this vlog, where I go when I talk about the books that I have specially chosen for the challenge. I do put in the points of the other books that I read as well. So I did start at the same time 2 physical reads for Realmathon. I did start them late, or not only because I only got them late from the library, but also because whilst reading I started reading a book on my e-reader that I finished before, and since it's part of another readathon, it is not, I'm not going to mention it either. So the first book that I start is the Le Manoir de Castelcats, Les larmes de Kernunnos. This is the second book in this series by Alain T Puysségur, and we are also still following these 4 cats in their Harry Potter-like adventure. I was hoping that every book would put another cat into the center of attention, but it is not happening. So we have the same main characters in the first one, and that's Kovan, which is also very, very nice. I would have liked being in the head of the other cats, but then it is not a big deal. And I am reading this book in a buddy read, a very special buddy read, even with my oldest son Jorim, who is 30, who also loved the first book. And we are reading in 20 days. This book every day is about 25 pages, 1 to 2 chapters, and I read them during the daytime, and then I pass on the book to my son, who reads after school, and then we discuss what we have read. It is very interesting. My idea with that was that we were both wanted to read this book, so why not buddy read it? But also I wanted to see how much my son actually understands of what he's reading, because sometimes he does say strange things about books. But I found out it is also a very interesting exercise for me too, to find little phrases to highlight towards him, or questions to ask him. So we are quite in this book for now, and I am enjoying this read. It's a middle grade, so it reads nice and quickly, and the story is quite gentle. So for now we did not get into the main adventures, but what we have noticed is we are going to start the second quarter of the school year of these 4 cats. This will be focused on knowing themselves. At the end they will again have a, how do you call it? It's an exam, but it's like a magical thing they have to do. We are having in the background some strange events continuing going on in it's the aftermath of what happened in the first book. So I think we haven't seen the big bad guy yet. So this one will not be finished before the end of the month. Alongside of that, since I read more than 25 pages every day, I have started Thislefoot by GennaRose Nethercott. I am not, I think 25% in, and I have been enjoying this read a lot. I had heard talk about it on a French YouTube channel, and I thought, well, this might be a nice book to test out. It is described as fantasy, as magical realism, as horror, and indeed it's a nice mix of these things. It's a book that at some point has me feel nice tension, so in the atmosphere I really like it. So in this book we are meeting Isaac and his sister, I think it's pronounced Bellatine, who are both descendants of Baba Yaga, and they are living 2 quite different lives in the United States. And they both get contacted because they inherit an object from their family. And very curious, they both go to the appointment set for this. And this object is this very strange house with chicken. It is translated as chicken leg. In the book it is also called the claws of a bird of prey. And they are starting to notice that what this house can do, and they have decided, Isaac has decided that they will tour 1 year with a marionette show, and after that his sister can own the house by herself. Very slowly some strange events start happening, and then Isaac notices that they are being looked for by a man, and I don't know how this name is in English, but in French it's Ombre Longue, and this man clearly has bad intentions. At this point, nothing, I don't think I've hit the core of the story yet. So what I think is very nice, that indeed, like I told earlier, that I was hoping that the house would be able to be considered as a main character. So everything turns around the house, so that is nice, but also we have some chapters in which the house is talking to us, telling us stories. And I think this is very interesting, especially it's because these chapters are interrupting the story as it has been told. So this book does break the fourth wall, and it gives a little break from the main story. Okay, everything's fine. That's our quarantined chinchilla who is not happy about something. And so I am quite eager to see what will be happening next. But I don't think that I will have too much physical reading that can be done today. It is clearly time to leave to pick up my kids from school, start up the evening routine. But this evening my husband and I are attending a Studio Ghibli classical concert to celebrate our 10 years marriage this month. And I hope that I can show you some footage of that. And if that's the case, well, it's following this clip, and if not, then I am really sorry for having teasing you for that. So it's already Friday, and it's already the last day for this vlog, and I feel I haven't read a lot, or maybe even at all, for this vlog, since I have no physical book that is finished. Maybe it's because I have been reading like two big books at the same time. Both books I'm reading have 528 pages, but it's also highly probable that it's because I only started to read for this readathon late last week, since the books came in very late at the library. So I still wanted to give you a small update. So on Tuesday we went to see this Ghibli concert with my husband. I have inserted a little clip of the road, but unfortunately it was forbidden even in the hall to film in the theater. So I do have a little picture that got in somewhere that my husband took, but since we couldn't film, I didn't want to break the rule. But we really had a lovely evening. It was not the official Japanese orchestra, it was a local orchestra with a very strong male voice. So they had a singer, and they also had a Japanese lady come and sing in the Japanese parts, which was very nice, and we really did enjoy this night out. This also meant that I didn't read much that day. So if you remember, I have been reading Les larmes de Kernunnos, or the second book for the Manoir de Castlecat series, and I've been reading this with my son. My son is a slow reader, so we wanted to read this over 20 days, like I said. So at this point I have read around 30-35% of the books, and I'm not sure I'm enjoying it as much as I have enjoyed the first one of this series. And I wonder if it's because I am reading it sometimes really chapter by chapter. So the chapters are not very long, so often we read 2 chapters. And what I find by reading this book is that every chapter is like a snapshot, like a picture of an event. I find that it doesn't flow over from one moment to the other, and I feel like they just go like, here you have an idea or a direction you're going, here you have another one, here you have another one, and I find it a little bit unpleasant to read. So I will try to take this moment. I will take this moment to show you the first book in this series. So this is the first book. For those who watch my other videos and my bullet journal videos, the first one holds some information about this book. It was the inspiration of my January setup, which never came out, but that I flipped through in my February setup. So this is the first book in the Manoir de Castlecat. It is called L'Automne des Aspirants, and it has like, they all are in the same vibe. So this is in our house. It's from the library, as you can tell, because my youngest, who is now almost 10, wanted to read it since he saw me and his older brother enjoying reading the second, because I enjoy it a little bit less. I really did enjoy reading this book almost a year ago, I really liked that all characters are cats, that they still behave as cats most of the time, so they walk on all four paws, for example, but then they eat cooked meals like we would. So the mix between human behavior and cat behavior is quite interesting, and also many words are invented and that they are quite fun. So this is middle grade, so it all has nice big letters. It reads fast. Oops, I know where he is, so I will put that back in. And but I thought, well, let's show it since we have it. So the other book I started was Thislefoot, and I was at about 25% when we last spoke. So I am halfway now. And oh my gosh, I am so enjoying this book. After not having that much of great reads in February, I am so happy with what I am reading right now. The book that I didn't vlog, since it's not specifically for Realmathon, was very good, and this may become one of my favorite books of at least of this year. It is difficult to tell a lot of it, but we are still with Isaac and Bellatine, and they are traveling with Thislefoot, the house, to give these marionette shows. And I found that the middle, there were at the start, it was quite fast-paced. Like the middle part to me feels very slow-paced, in that every stop they make, every place they go to, they have these little snippets of additions to the main story. Even if we do not linger in places and we have no unnecessary long descriptions or events that are not linked to the main story, I still felt like it slowed down a little bit. But I am very excited to finish this book, and I hope that I will be finishing it this weekend. What is very funny is both of these books have exactly 528 pages. And so I think that's also one of the reasons that I did not finish a book in this week, a physical book then, is because of the big amount of pages they both have. And yeah, a little bit less reading time. I also started a book with the smaller children. It's in here. And it is also one I mentioned in my setup video. It is Le vent dans les sauges, or The Wind in the Willow, by, I have forgotten again, I am so bad with names, by Kenneth Grahame. And we are reading again from this very nice collection with the very nice drawings. We are really not that far in, and the kids have been very tired and falling asleep even before the end of the chapter this week. But I have asked them a little bit what they think about it, and Naoki said that the text in these books are way more beautiful than in the previous one, so he's happy with it. I am liking this one too. When I was browsing to Goodreads comments, I found that many people had criticism on the society view this is giving. And I must admit, I am not the person that is looking for the main big themes behind the story and the criticisms, for example, on society. So I do not look for it, and I think a story is a story, and everybody does as he wants. For me, I like to listen to people doing that, but for myself, I don't really mind. So we know that we are reading a very old book, and this old book is about 4 friends that have adventures, and that there are no women in this story. Well, it's about 4 friends, right? And my sons, they are in an age that when they play at the school playground, boys play with boys and girls play with girls. It's that age, and so that they didn't even made the comment like, Mom, there is no girls in this story, there is no moms in this story. No, it's just adventures of 4 friends. And so I think it is indeed a nicer way of telling, of writing than we had before. I must agree with Naoki. But then I also find the stories quite innocent, quite funny at sometimes, and I enjoy my time reading this to my kids. I'm not like, oh, I don't want to. No, it's that was a cat. I do enjoy my time. So we will talk more about this book in the next vlog because, well, I will not show you bedtime routine every time we film. It will be boring. But I tend to, since we only started it, I just mentioned this book this time. So I hope that you were able to finish some more books this week than I did. See you soon!